on my shirt this weekend. What's happening, Captain? What's the new kangaroos? It's your dandy candy. And if you see me standing over here, you know what that means.
It's time for another drinking video.
No, Drinkodimus, it does not mean that we are doing a drinking video today, actually.
And what the hell am I here for?
Today we are doing a making video where we're going to show how we put you together.
Oh, what a splendid idea!
But in all fairness, because you usually do the drink things, we're going to go ahead and have a drink anyhow while we talk about how we made you. So we're going to have this today.
Oh, what's that you bought there?
This is a Lacto Cooler. It is a flavored Berliner style Weiss ale. So let's go ahead and pop this top.
Saturn, seriously, look at how green that is!
Ooh, this has been perfect for St. Patrick's Day now, wouldn't it?
Oh, indubitably, yes. It's a shame we didn't do a St. Patrick's Day video.
Let's go ahead and give this a sip.
Wait, what are you doing?
What am I doing? We ain't doing a drink review.
Yes, I was about to say, we already established that.
I'll let you go ahead and introduce the segments of the steps. That work for you? So go ahead and do that while I take a sip.
Oh, yes, by all means. Drink hearty, adventurer. Let its ABV guide you through this ad-libbed, unscripted journey. First, the head.
Now, we needed a base for the head, and what we wound up using was this decorative skull that I had laying around because, well, I like decorating the skulls.
Well, that's not disturbing at all.
None of them are like actual skulls, but like decorative skulls, Halloween shit, props. I just really like skulls, so you see them in my costumes a lot sometimes. So yeah, having one around to use as a base form was there. What we're using here for building our head is cardboard strips that we roughly cut about ½ an inch in length, just to freeform the base of our head, the top part of the head, because the head is actually broken up into two parts. Once we've got our cardboard strips laid down to a shape we like, we then went over it with foam board, like just cheap crafting foam board. You can get it like the Dollar Tree or anywhere in general. There we cut out a template and glued them on top with some hot glue, beveled the edges down with an X-Acto knife, and carved into shape. For Drinkodimus's eyes, we actually used these beads that we had gotten off a beaded garland that have those holes in them. I just thought it looked really neat for eyes. That's what we used for the base for the eyelids. So I figured, or the base for the eye holes. So I figured, you know what, let's just keep them in there. It looks kind of neat. Once we got our head figured out, it was time to move on to the mouth plate. The mouth plate, we just basically traced over our hand with a piece of cardboard that we folded in half to make a taco shape. Cut that down and created some finger holes, or created some finger loops to reinforce our hand in there while we're moving the puppet.
What the deuce are you doing?
Was I just talking into my vape pen?
I do one of those and I'm the dummy jokes, but you've pretty much set it up for me.
We've had to since update this because while I was doing some work on Drinkodimus, because it's always good for you to upgrade your puppets as you can, especially when they're made out of cardboard and duct tape and paper mache. The mouth plate came loose, so we had to actually reinforce it with more duct tape. The brand that we usually use is Gorilla Tape, not Duck brand duct tape, because Duck brand duct tape is absolute trash. But yeah, so it's been reinforced a bit with Gorilla Tape. Very, very good stuff. With the mouth plate now done up, it was time to move on to the lower jaw and the bridge that's going to connect the mouth plate to the top of the head. This was a real simple process. Most of this we already knew was going to be covered up with a beard, so we didn't have to do too much sculpt work, although I did put a little detail into the lips. With the head, with the jaw and the mouth plate all done and secured, we glued it all into place, and it was time to move on to the body.
Yes, gather round, everyone, for my body is a temple, and it is time to hear its sermon.
Yes, well, your body is mostly just made out of cardboard, so it's a cardboard temple. Drinkodimus is a very, very, very simple puppet.
I beg your pardon?
Structure-wise, very simple. He's a head, a torso, and arms. So he's just three major parts there. For the torso, we just basically took some cardboard, reinforced it with duct tape, wrapped it around our forearm to the length that we desired, and then added a spine that connects the head to the torso, which you can sometimes see when he's moving around. It's a black spine that's reinforced with duct tape that connects it all together.
I look like I belong in a sex dungeon like that. Oh.
The arms, we rolled up some duct tape we rolled up some cardboard into tubes and fed it through with shoestrings to give it a real loose movement, become nice and loose. But the problem is that I noticed in the last two videos that we did with Drinkodimus is that because he's a three-handed puppet, meaning that you need at least three hands to operate him properly, one for each hand and one for the mouth, only one of his arms able to move at a time. So I went back in and reinforced his arms with wire that you can bend into shape, which is going to give it more of a springy effect, but also allow both of his hands to be showing at the same time. So a little upgrade. It's always good to upgrade your puppets. What do you think about it, Drinkodimus?
Oh yes, I agree completely. And I absolutely adore my new accessories. These lovely bracelets.
I know, and we even gave you these dope little bracelets. The bracelets, by the way, actually help cover the wires that we have attached to his puppet rods, so they're connected to it.
How is that lacto cooler you poured?
You know, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a sour beer. It's got kind of a hint of ecto cooler in it. It looks really dope, though, don't it? It's kind of cool. Again, this is not a drink review video. I just felt like having a drink while we're doing it. Now, for the hands, because the hands were a little trickier, we drew out our template onto cardboard, which we then transferred over to more foam board and then cut out pieces. Now, we had to make 4 copies of the hand, 2 for both hands. And what we did was we broke the fingers off on one of those copies of each hand and then glued down wire in between the 2 layers so that we could bend the fingers into a more lifelike hand rather than just being straight out like some boring fucking Uncanny Valley shit. With everything all sculpted out, it was on to the skinning process. Now, Drinkodimus is an old bitch.
How dare you?
You is, honey. You is an old ass bitch. You was around before moisturizer even existed, because you're a wizard. Wizards don't really care about their skin.
Well, if I had known I was going to be red like this, I'd have brought my library card.
So what we did was we did a paper mache method by using fast food napkins or gas station napkins that we tore up into little pieces and applying them over the surface of the puppet body with a watered down solution of white school glue. We kept the layers loose and nice and loose so that they'd have a nice little wrinkling effect by the time it dried up the next day. Once the skin was dried, it was time to paint it, adding on our base tone, followed up with our contour and shade and lip as you will. All painted up and nowhere to go, it was time for the clothing. Now, puppet clothing is a little different than everyday clothing, mainly because of the fact that, well, they're a puppet. Puppets tend to not be 100% proportionate to a human body. You have to fiddle around a bit with the puppet clothes. So for our puppet, we basically just took some fabric and glued it down, cut it into shape around the body, glued it in the back where you're not going to see it anyhow. We used a burgundy shirt that I had laying around for the main robe and sleeves. And we found this neat looking astronomical fucking like astrology fabric in like a chocolate color at a local Wally World that we used for both the vest and the fez hat. Now I know what you're thinking, and if you weren't thinking it, well, I'm going to say you were thinking it anyway. Candy, why does he have a fez hat? He's a wizard. Why doesn't he have a wizard hat? Well, that's because Drinkodimus is a wine wizard. He's a wizard of drinkery. I tend to associate fez hats with getting drunk. I know it might be a bit of a stretch for some people because I know there is some cultural significance to fez hats, and I'm not trying to insult anybody or any of that. But when I think of fez hats, I think of those old happy hour tiki times where you have the Mai Tais and nice little social events, ritzy shitsy fucking party animal drinking guys. And let's be honest, drunk people love tiny little hats. The fez is a perfect example of that. It's a tiny little hat. Show me a drunk person that doesn't like a tiny little hat. So I tend to associate fez hats with drinking, partying, happy times, happy hour. So that's why he has a fez hat. Wouldn't look right with a wizard hat, just be too much on the nose. He's already got a big enough nose as it is.
I do not.
It's a pretty damn big nose, honey. It's almost like Bianca Del Rio.
Please don't come for us, Bianca Del Rio. We absolutely loved you in the Hurricane Bianca films.
The only thing I could think of that would be closely associated with drinking in a wizard hat would be like a road cone, and Drinkodimus don't need to be wearing no road cone. He's too classy for that. So fez hat it was. And we used some little decorative holly that we had laying around for the topper on the hat, because it kind of looked like grapes in his scale, like wine grapes. So that's why he's got those little dilly bobbies at the top of his hat. With the costume set, all painted to go, it was on to doing the hair and the beard. Now, the hair and the beard are basically just a ginger wig I was willing to sacrifice because I have a lot of ginger wigs laying around. And there you go. That's essentially how we made Drinkodimus. In the first couple of videos with Drinkodimus, his set was a literal set. We made a set with out of a furniture box that we had glued down foam tiles and painted purple, and added an LED light strip on top of it to light it up behind him. But the problem I was finding with it is the lighting was inconsistent between filming, and I don't really want that with the puppet because it kind of drowns out all the detail work we did to Drinkodimus in the first place. So what we decided to do was we went down to the store and bought ourselves a couple of sheets of neon green poster board, which we've tacked up to the wall, and took a picture of the set lit up, put that into our video editing software, and now we just have Drinkodimus working in front of essentially a really cheap green screen, which we then overlay over a shot. And I find that it gives the lighting more consistency, and it lets you see all the work that we put into the character. It looks much better now, I think. In my opinion, much better looking.
It's still a bit of a learning curve, as I tend to like to bounce around while I talk, and there's only so much space you can do in a green screen like this, but we'll figure it out eventually. It certainly looks better, I agree.
It's been kind of a hectic day, so pardon if this video feels a little rushed together. But yeah, that is essentially how we made Drinkodimus over here. We're going to be back soon with some more video content. In the meantime, if you didn't know, I am an artist. If you want to check out some of our work, you can head on over to our Etsy shop. Take it away, Drinkodimus.
Etsy.com/shop/candy-dandy-art.
Well, this has been Candy Dandy.
And Drinkodimus.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good one.